Hey everyone, NWA Prepper here. And today I want to talk a little bit about redundancy. And at the minimum of the whole one is none and two is one saying, that's pretty regular. I mean, you hear a lot of people say that. I mean, I say it. I think it's important. And one of the things that makes me want to share that with you is I had a good example of why that's a good practice in my life. And so, of course, I thought I would share with you guys. To begin with, the whole saying is intended so if you lose something or something breaks or anything that makes it malfunction, or anyway, if you lose it or it malfunctions, then everything you're doing doesn't stop. And so it's easy for us as preparedness-minded people or neo-pioneers to think of, the number one thing I go to is pistol magazines. If this one malfunctions, I need to have another one ready to go. That type of emergency. And that's wonderful. I mean, then that's what I think of. So, but another example of that is a story from today. And I know stories aren't terribly important to some of you, but this one is the reason I feel like sharing this saying with you again. My wife, my lovely bride, when I'm filming this, which is probably a week or two ago, she has a new business that she's trying again. She's doing Mary Kay. She's tried it before. She's been a customer a little bit, and she wanted to try it again. So she is, and it makes her happy, and so, and it's self-supporting, and so it's very easy for me to get behind it. Well, she's doing a live stream on a virtual, I forget the company or the name, but like a virtual flea market. Well, she's got 45 minutes of airtime in this online home shopping club thing. That's not what it is at all, but it's, that's how I understand it. Zoom Marketplace, I think, is what it is. And so she's getting ready and she's prepping, and she was going to prop her phone on some books to get it, where she could use her phone, because we don't have another way to live stream. And of course, I've got the bracket that this phone is in, and I had another one that broke as we were trying to get her set up. And and I've got a big tripod that the mount for this sat on, and as soon as we got it set up, it just broke. Well, if that was her only option, then she had to go, she had to improvise and use things that aren't well suited for the job. Stacking up books and trying to prop your phone up with books and towels to get the proper angle is not the best way to do a live stream or a video. How do I know that? Because I've done it. But it was no big deal, because I just went to the other room and I had another option, another mount for her to do that. So in this situation, isn't near as important in any way, shape, or form as a magazine malfunction in a firearm and you need another magazine. But it was important that this is something she's doing that's important to her. And if we had to stop and back up and try to refigure things for another method, you know, or improvising, it takes a little bit longer, and you know, it's a lot more stressful. And so when I could just go to the back and I could come out with a different kind of bracket and set it up, and in just a couple seconds have her another thing to hold her phone, it eased her stress. And if only it takes away stress, then having that second thing is important and well worth the time and investment to have that. The same thing's true with a tool. Now, I'm not saying go buy 2 table saws or, you know, 2 air compressors, but on things that are going to break, you're gonna break a pair of glasses. You need to have 2. You're going to lose, you know, some screws that go to something if they come out. You need to have some extra screws. You need to have, you know, an extra hat. I mean, it's just one of those things that you need to have 2 of things. And so I thought I'd share with you, because it's really passionate, and I'm going right now to get a different or a replacement bracket for the one that broke, because it's something that if we're both using it and we're both, you know, we both need it, and we broke it, then it's for sure something we need to do 2 of. The same thing with a lot of other things. The biggest one in my mind are tools or extra parts. You need an extra firing pin. You need an extra spring kit for your rifle. You know, you need extra things like that, even though they're not as sexy and fashionable as I need a whole extra rifle, so I've got 2 ARs or 2 SKSs, or okay, that's awesome. If you can do that, wonderful. I can't. But I can do one, but I can have the parts and pieces needed to repair it should the need arise. And I encourage you to do the same type of things. Sorry, I'm back. I had a motorist assist. There was someone that needed a little bit of help. So always consider, you know, when you pick something up, pick up another one, so you have some options, you know, so you have a backup. And eventually you'll have plenty of backups, but I don't want you to be in need. And that goes for things like, there's nothing worse than being in the middle of a project. You know, say you're building something and you're using nails, and then you get through and you have just enough to make the project, but you've been 3 or 4, so you don't have any extra nails. So you have to stop what you're doing and go to the store and get nails. There'll be a time that we won't be able to do that, so having extra in hand is important. Thanks for watching. 2 is 1, 1 is none. Let's get ready.